Hello, my dear followers, or people who are new and who I'm sure will subscribe to this channel as you found it. We are in Brooklyn. This is the first time I'm streaming from real Brooklyn on this channel. Let me wait for everyone to join before we start today's every Saturday's journey at 2 p.m. New York time. Some stops which are not in Manhattan are outside. As you can see, this is a regular subway. Frequency of trains, not too bad for the weekend. When it happens during rush hour and on weekdays, which is not exceptional, it's much worse when you have to wait for trains for 20 minutes and more. But it's okay because there are rides to entertain you. Hello, toilet brush salesman. You're the first one to join this stream. The first of many. This stream promises to be really exciting. I ordered Starbucks in advance. I don't know where Starbucks is, so let's find it together now. It did warm up compared to earlier, thank God, because otherwise it would be too cold for me to stream. But weather is on our side now. I think it's only like minus 10 degrees Celsius. Much more improved compared to earlier. So that's Sheepshead Bay. Hi, Anton. Hey, Dave. And we will be exiting now. Pass us here. It's super loud. Okay, I don't know where 16th Street is. So this is Sheepshead Bay Road, which is good. And now we need to find 16th Street where my Starbucks is waiting for me. I have so many things to share about this place. So this place is Soviet place. As soon as we get out of the train station, you see a lot of newspapers in a language which you probably don't understand. And that language is being, hi Patrick, that language is being Russian. People from Soviet republics, regardless of where they are from which Soviet country, as long as they speak Russian, they call themselves Russians. Well, that was the case until last year. You can buy a huge cigarette here. Now they distinguish themselves Russians from non-Russians. But a lot of people from former Soviet republics don't even speak any language different than Russia, even though they've lived in the United States for more than 50 years, some of them. Well, that's New York. Hey, Lizzie. This is a different neighborhood compared to Manhattan, which I usually show. And I think I see Starbucks. So I'm sorry, but to keep myself warm, I will first pay a visit to that place. Usually I don't get Starbucks now, but what I do is I got syrup, which is from Starbucks. Then I do like 3 pumps of syrup. I add milk, hot milk to it, which I make in a special way. And then sometimes also a shot of espresso. Okay, let's see if my drink is ready. I pre-ordered it. Oh, here we go. And that's the drink I always take. Grande white mocha. And in some Starbucks, you see prices have changed. Well, in the past year, prices for Starbucks in New York have increased 3 or 4 times. Each time for my drink, it was 25 cents, more or less. Well, final raise of price of that drink made me make a decision. Okay, made me make it myself now. That's what I wanted to say. Look, in outside of Manhattan, you still see a lot of cables and other stuff hanging above us. Not everything is under the ground here, unlike in Manhattan. So you can definitely, like, if you had a great party and you don't remember where you woke up, just look up and you will know. Starbucks is very good. You wanted to write, Sergey, very good. and it keeps me warm. So, Soviet part of Brooklyn starts from, I would say, King's Highway, and the whole area of Soviet Brooklyn I personally call Brighton Beach, even though Brighton Beach is a specific small area of Brooklyn. And I will show you why. Yes, you sometimes see Russian stores in the Russian language mixed up with stores in English in the names here, but the closer we are to Brighton Beach, the more you will see signs only in the Russian language, or probably now in Ukraine. Ukrainian and Russian languages, they're different. Do Ukrainians like Russians and vice versa? Well, before 2024, the beginning of 2022, I would say they're neighboring countries, and sometimes you couldn't even tell a Russian from a Ukrainian, and there are a lot of mixed couples. But now, everything has changed. Hello, hello. Look, you see the name of the pharmacy? First in English, and under that, in some weird language. Well, that's Cyrillic, and that's in Russian. The main part of what I call Soviet Brooklyn starts here, where we are now. That's Sheepshead Bay, and you see some signs offering either job or services. That's also in the Russian language or Ukrainian. Besides Russian and Ukrainians, there are people from other former Soviet republics. Depending on the year, depending on the wave of immigration, you see more of some people over the other. Sometimes there are people from, now there are a lot of people from Uzbekistan, from Kazakhstan, and from other Soviet republics that are moving to New York, most of the times illegally. Coffee spot next to Starbucks has interesting interior design. Here, I didn't pay attention. I'm surprised how peaceful and calm it is here. That's not yet the Soviet part of, not the center, not the epicenter of the Soviet part of Brooklyn, but we're getting there. Before we get there, I will show you an area which is known by all people, every single person who lives around this area. So that's the distance of approximately 8 stops, 8 subway stops. That is Soviet/Russian. Whenever I say Russian about this place, I mean Soviet. Whenever I say Soviet, that's also Russian and other Russian-speaking countries. During Soviet times, everyone in Russian, in former Soviet republics, which were, I think, 16, they all spoke Russian. So people of, for example, my parents' generation, so people who are in the 50s, 60s, probably not in the 50s as much, like in the 60s, 70s, all people speak Russian. So now we are going to a place which every person who lives around this neighborhood and many other Russian-speaking people from even outside of New York, they know. It's called Emmons Avenue, and we will see something really nice that will be waiting for us there. And I even got some bread for this very nice thing. I know it's not what they should be eating, but I know that a lot of people are feeding that to them, and I got a really good one. So don't judge me too strictly. In the sun, it's actually super nice. It's like, it feels like you are somewhere in the mountains, and the sun, and there is snow around you, and the sun is making, even though it's cold, sun makes it feel like super comfortable and warm, like spring. It's still a little dirty here. I think that's the dirtiest place I actually seen in New York. Whenever you see a side of the road in New York, you don't see trash. It's always being taken care of. Or at least not as much as here. I don't understand why Sergey is against Starbucks and seafood. I don't know. I don't know what his problem is. Seafood and Starbucks They are the best. If only I could have sushi here with Starbucks, I wouldn't mind at all. Speaking of sushi place which we passed, which was to our right, it's on the other side of the bridge now. It's super cheap and it's super fresh. The best sushi I've ever had was probably here. And if we compare prices to Manhattan prices, so I think that everyone knows a Philadelphia roll, right? Or, for example, a roll with salmon and avocado. So that in Manhattan would cost $8 if you go to some place to eat. I'm not speaking about delivery, because in the end of the day you will be spending $20 for just a roll. So $8, while here the exact same one, but which tastes better, would cost somewhere around $4, so 2 times cheaper. So whenever I come here, which I try to do, well, usually not when it's as cold, I come to this area of the city because I really like food from Russia, or from like Ukraine, or from Belarus and countries in that part of the world. So it's not like I have good memories about it. Not like I'm in America, I feel sorry I'm not there. No, but just food from there is really super, super good. And they do really import some of the items from Europe, and it's not something you would find in other places in the city. So where there are people, where there is the blue bridge, and where the cars are now going, that's Emmons Avenue. Okay, hello Nibul, thank you guys for joining. I'm reminding you all that every single week at 2 p.m. New York time, I will be streaming at 2 p.m. or close to 2 p.m. Like today, I was supposed to get to this place at 1:30 p.m. But New York subway, the most unpredictable subway in the world. First, it just decided to not run. Then it went the opposite direction, and then it stopped where it shouldn't have stopped. But at least we made it all the way here. So that's Emmons Avenue, and that's where the ocean starts, and that's where I'm going to be feeding now them. But let's go to the place where there are more of them. I think some people are feeding them already. So beautiful white swans. Even today's call did not cancel the broadcast. Nope. Regardless of the weather and other conditions, unless I write something what prevents me from streaming, I will always have a stream every week at 2 p.m. on Saturday, New York time. Hello, Miguel. Okay, shall we feed them now? Well, let's go to the boats before. Well, I'm still drinking Starbucks so that I have 2 hands to help me. Oh, that looks so beautiful. Is the pedestrian bridge closed? I don't think it is. No, it's open. Why, you want to go on it? We will, but let's first go to the boat. So if you are ever in New York, or maybe people who are in New York already and don't know that, if you want to see whales, or if you want to go fishing on the boat, you come here to this area where these boats are, and you go on a tour. Fishing usually lasts like a whole day, or at least half a day. And whale watching and dolphin watching tours are usually half a day, which is like 4 hours. I don't know if they run in winter because, you probably know that whales tend to stay in warmer waters. So definitely in summer. I don't know if there is a guarantee to see whales on one of these trips, but I know that, for example, in Massachusetts, which is not far from Maine, and I'm saying hi to one of my subscribers, the loving subscriber. Well, that's if you don't see, it's guaranteed. If you don't see a whale or something like a dolphin or a seal, whatnot, then you will get reimbursed. How do you like that view? Unfortunately, I don't come here that too often, but I should, because it even smells like sea, like ocean water, you know. It smells like seaweed, better than weed, other type of weed in the city. So I should definitely come here more often. And it's actually not even windy now. I am dressed like I don't even know what to compare myself to. I have 2 pairs of really super warm winter socks. I have 3 sweaters. I have a winter coat. I have a hat from Russia, because that's the warmest one that you can possibly imagine. I have a hood. I have gloves, which I'm not wearing. Yeah. Oh, and a scarf. And I'm drinking hot Starbucks too. Oh, and Russian shoes. I said in one of the streams that I did not find shoes here in New York. They can be boots, but they're not warm inside. So the only warm boots that I was ever able to find, that's from Russia. So I cannot go back there to buy some clothes for weather like today. How do you like this place? If you know about Rockaway Beach, it's not far from here. No, Lily is not with me now. I left her home. I don't want her to get cold. She did not seem to mind cold weather when we were walking in the morning and last night. But I think this walk is going to be pretty long, so I let her rest until we take like a 20 kilometers walk tomorrow. But she was with me earlier. Oh God, it smells like ocean. I wish you could all smell it. To the left, there are some restaurants, including Russian restaurants. And again, don't forget that by Russian, I don't mean only Russian. That's good. Oh yes. I mean, she loves the ocean. She doesn't even mind going into the ocean. She doesn't like waves too much, but I watch her at home from time to time, and I think she's like so used to water by now that she doesn't mind the ocean either. So these are the boats which you can take, different tours, different even the party boat and different cruises. We won't go all the way to that lake or to that bay. We will be crossing to some of the most expensive houses in New York. I'm not familiar with the Russian cuisine. You know what? The most famous, it's funny that you write this, because the most famous Russian salad has a French name, Nibul. It's called Olivier. In America and in some other countries, it's actually called Russian salad, but in Russia itself, it's called Olivier, and they say that it's named after a French cook. Hello, Killer Cam. I will show you some Russian and products and other products that are not American today. I guess we will be turning now, because the only bridge where we could cross to the other side, that was the blue bridge which we already passed. But I guess you have the idea now of what's here. Let's go back. We will first feed some swans, and then we will continue to the expensive houses on the opposite side of this bay. The name of this area is called Sheepshead Bay. And when there was a first wave of immigration, so what was the area? So we will end up in Brighton Beach, or in Brighton Beach area, and Coney Island. All that area I call Brighton Beach, because there are a lot of immigrants. They used to be immigrants, now they are mostly illegal immigrants from Soviet republics. The first wave of immigration started in 1970s. Before that, that was a very rich territory, and it probably some of you know that there is also Brighton Beach in the UK. Well, that's what they were trying to mimic, so to say, here in New York, and that was back in the beginning of previous century, so in the beginning of 20th century, and very rich people started to inhabit it. It was an area where, which was like right next to the ocean, where waves were not too high, so it was not dangerous. I call it, well, it doesn't remind me of, I mean, I wouldn't call it an ocean personally. Yes, it is officially an ocean, but to me it's more like a bay. So you can easily imagine that there are no waves where there is a bay, and it's more safe. But it's also, especially now when there are a lot of hurricanes, it can be dangerous because for example, one of the more recent hurricanes, which happened here in 2012 when I moved to America, it was Sandy. And it was devastating. The area where we are now and where we will go after that, Brighton Beach, was damaged a lot. But we'll speak about it later. Now let's feed swans. Let me just take out the bread that I have. I wish I had more than 2 hands. You have to get more information about this. I cannot believe you don't know about Russian cuisine, Nibu. In France there are so many Russians, and Russia is friends with Morocco. All right. Oh God! How do they know that I didn't even take bread out yet? What the heck? Okay, let's try it this way. No way. What, you're not too brave? Well, come on. Anyone? Here. Okay. 1 done. 2. Oh, that would be a good piece if someone gets it. Anyone? Okay, smaller one. They're not too brave. They smell it on me. Here. Come on. Okay. All right, now to swans. Oh, come on. Greedy seagulls. Bread doesn't even have time to make it all the way to water. Okay, you guys do yourself what you want with it. What are you doing here? Oh, I wish it was focused. God, it's pretty. I could take some great shots here, but I don't have hands. Enough hands, I mean. Enough free hands. Seagulls and other birds, they just love to eat. I have nothing to do with their love for me. I hope my phone won't get down with seagulls trying to be close to it and to me, or to bread. What are you saying? Can anyone translate from seagull? But that looks beautiful, right guys? Okay, we won't be here for too long. I promise to get rid of all the bread. And then we'll continue. I'll do it fast. I wish I had someone, maybe some of you next to me so that I can do it easily. Hi, Tyler. Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay, are you ready? Okay, there we go. That looks so pretty. If you guys want to take pictures, some great shots, come here and feed seagulls. Or pretend like you have bread at least. Wow. Oh God. I wish my phone was focused on them all the time, and I wish I could zoom out. Here you go. Okay, let's continue, otherwise we'll be stuck here for good. Bye guys. Thank you for being so pretty. No, you don't want to let me go? Are you going to take me all the way to Brighton? I bet you will. I hope they won't poop on me. Well, if they do, it's for good luck, right? That's the way to take it. Well, you have a lot of seagulls. We don't have that many seagulls nibble here. That's why it's pretty cool. Hello, Vladimir. Okay, have the last piece and we go. Okay, guys. Bye-bye. Till next time. You have nests on your roofs. Oh, wow. All right, so we're taking that blue bridge now. So, who are the people who live in this area? Well, that specific area, I know people from Moldova. That's one of the former Soviet republics. My family knows them. We have not seen them in like the entire time, maybe once since I've moved here. But so there are people from that part of the world. I don't know a lot of Ukrainians who live in specifically this area, but majority of immigrants live, especially like newer generations, so from like a few years ago and up till now, they live in the area of King's Highway. There are a lot of apartments that are being offered there for a relatively decent price, definitely cheaper than in Manhattan. Look, it's winter, it's super cold, but the grass is green. They ask for the name of the channel they want to subscribe. Who is asking? Oh, Seagulls? I'm sure they do. So new generation of people who are moving here. So before this were immigrants from Ukraine, specifically from a town in Ukraine called Odessa. That's why area where we're going now is called Little Odessa. And some people think that it's Little Russia or Little, I don't know, Moscow or whatnot, but it's not. So it's actually more Ukrainian area than anything. I like this bridge. It's a little unstable, but thank God I can swim. Sometimes you see fishermen here. I don't know if it's legal or if it's illegal, if anything is done against them. Hello, Sandman. Sandman is a huge fan of Russian women. That's why I tell him that to meet his destiny, he needs to go to Brighton Beach. There are plenty of really like Slavic, good-looking ladies. I know that to a lot of men that's the only or the major thing that matters. So that's the place to find a lady. But be careful, because people who come here, ladies from Russia, if they're the same as what I saw in Moscow, probably better to find another person. Not all, of course. Hello, Monica again. Ciao, Venezia. You don't want to swim in this weather, no matter how awesome you are. You know what about me being a swimmer? About a year ago, so when I had 10,000 followers on my Russian-speaking channel, I promised that I would go in water, no matter what season it was. And I hate when it's cold. It's so disgusting to me. And now I have more than 30, I think I have 31,000 followers there. So they went up pretty quickly. But so it happened around the same time of the year last year that I got 10,000. So promises made, promises kept. I went in freezing cold water. I think it was around 0 degrees Celsius, the temperature of water back then, but I did it. So maybe I will repeat that achievement once I reach $10,000 followers here. I wouldn't do it for $10,000, I'm telling you that. Look how nice it looks from here. Hello, Pete. I'm so happy to see people who I know even from Periscope. That's Nibul, that's Pete, that's Anton, that's Sergey, and some other people. Nice view and so peaceful and calm. And these are the houses, each of which is worth more than $1 million. I hardly see anyone here, so to me it just seems that no one ever lives here, but people just seem to own these houses. Let's see what they look like. Let me go to the shade, because this way I can see your comments too. You should join the Polar Bears Club. They swim in the cold. Well, first of all, it's very far. Like, not very far, but it takes at least 1 hour and something minutes to get here. I can only come here, I would be able to come here only on the weekend. And secondly, I'm too lazy. Thirdly, it's far, so it would take me at least 3 hours to get here and back. Considering that weekends is like my time when I can do like personal things, because I don't have ever time to do it during the week. It's like it takes a lot of time. Plus, I don't like the cold. I try to avoid it by all costs, by all means. Not Anton, Pepsi Cola Mama, what? But yes, there is a Polar Bear Club, and people from that club look at the houses. These are not the most expensive ones yet, but they do look European. And these are like price for houses on the left side, and you can tell that is higher. How do you like that area? And as soon as we step from the busy street where cars were riding on the other side of the lake or pond or bay, it makes a whole difference, right? It's so peaceful, it's so calm. You can even whisper and be heard. Ricky, oh yes, Ricky, Sandman, these are also the people who I know from Periscope. Good old Periscope. So calm. As you can see, in America in general and in New York specifically, there are not a lot of places which have like really serious fences or gates or, you know, some sort of protection. This is maximum protection that you would see in most places. But in some, like some of these homes, they do have something where you cannot even see through, which is very unusual for America. If you go to Russia, you wouldn't even be able to see maybe like the size of the house because of how protected it is. Oh yes, you are right, Sergey. That's correct. Yes, and we do remember you by being Pepsi Cola, Anton. I don't think I can afford any house in this area. Well, it depends. If you have several million free dollars, why not? Just about like 10 or something, plus some money to maintain and pay for some, like when something breaks or for electricity and stuff. I don't know if they decorate these houses here for New Year's. Who lives here? Well, there can be, as I said, immigrants, but of course of different level from Soviet countries. I cannot believe like I'm speaking so loud compared to the peacefulness of this place. There can be some Italians that live here. Also, I saw a couple of times people who looked like people from Asia, but most likely these were people, they spoke Russian. These were people from like Kazakhstan maybe, or maybe from, I don't know, some place like that. The good days of Periscope. Oh yes, Coney Island and Brighton Beach by Astrolab. That's where we go next. Let me just show a few more streets here. In the meantime, please write your opinion about this area. New York is very, very diverse. It can be a huge new building right next to something like that. So if I just happened to be here without knowing which part of the world, or even if someone told me that it was America and asked me where is that, I would say I don't know. I would definitely not be able to say that that's a part of Brooklyn. Look how huge that house is. I bet it costs like $10 million, if not more. They fish by Emmons Avenue at Sheepshead Bay. Have you ever done it? I love fishing. I have 2 rods at home, and I still need to get rid of them because they collect a lot of dust. But I love fishing. I also love what you guys don't have here in America. I love mushroom picking. It's so common. It's so Soviet, you know. People from Soviet republics do it all the time. They go to forests. Usually mushrooms appear sometime in July, August, September, and they pick mushrooms. Like some mushrooms, they know names of mushrooms, and there are so many. I saw that at beach. How we are we back? I'm sorry for the connection. There is no reason for connection to be bad here, but nonetheless. God, it's so quiet. I don't think I've ever heard anything more quiet in my life. Next weekend, and I'm giving you guys an advanced notice, I will be streaming. I don't know if I will be streaming at 2 p.m. New York time, because I will be in a different location, but I promise to stream at 2 p.m. where I will be, okay, local time where I will be at that moment. No, I don't think it's just 1 million, Rick. It's much more than 1 million. I'd rather stay in New Jersey. You're back. Good. Back. Good, good, good. Most of these houses over 1 million. Yes, I don't... What do you mean most? I think all of them are. Like, look, a house like that. First of all, there are not a lot of homes in Brooklyn that are made of brick. Well, that one is not. And I know that not townhouses, but like private homes that are made of wood, they're very expensive. They alone cost more than several $1 million. So I bet a house like that, right by the ocean, oh, it's at least $5 million. Nat loves cold. Oh, stop it. Nat hates cold. Natalia is not in Russia because Russia is very cold. Remember that trick. If I did not promise, ooh, there's a dog. If I didn't promise to stream, trust me, I would now be covered in my bed under a really warm blanket, maybe 2, maybe 3. But I keep my promises. Speaking of promises, people who live here and who live in the area where we will go next, Brighton Beach, unlike in other parts of New York City, they are mostly Republicans. New York State, as a general, it's a Democratic state, so people vote mostly for Democrats, but some parts of New York, they vote for Republicans, including this area, that area of New York City, also Long Island, for example, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, upstate New York as well. Nice homes here, right? And we are already at the end. And there is a beach. I don't know if we can go all the way to the beach, so I'm not sure if I will be able to show it from here, but because it might be a private beach, but we can give it a try. And if we cannot see water from here, we will see it from Brighton Beach. a Russian definitely lives here. Otherwise, oh God, come on, telephone, focus, please. No? Okay, there we go. New telephone is not the best. So this is this type of fence you only see Russians to have. Hello again, Ruben. Natalia, what's your ideal temperature in Celsius? Ideal temperature in Celsius, I would say 20 degrees Celsius. When it's not, okay, during the day like 20 to 25, during the night not too cold, when you can just wear something light, like, I mean, maybe like 15 degrees, like at the least, not less than 15 degrees. Yes. So there is a sports playground, there is a bus which is not in service that rides here. I think there is some college. If you continue all the way to the left side, like over there, we will get to some college. In Russia, Natalia should live either in Sochi, there are mountains and sea, and great. I don't like Sochi. Well, I have never been to Sochi, but why I wouldn't live in Sochi is I like sandy beaches. In Sochi, there are rocks. So I'm not sure about Sochi. Cozy district. Yes, Nick. Have you been here when you were in New York? Like, what did I miss? Is this Manhattan Beach? Yes, this is Manhattan Beach. I think. I only went to Manhattan Beach once before and I hated it. I'll explain why. A lot of people told me, oh, like, you think that Brighton Beach is too crowded, so go to Manhattan Beach, it's much better. I'm like, wow, what's there? What is in that secret Manhattan Beach? Why is everyone sending me there? So I went there, and it has not, like, I don't know why it's even called beach. It's like, imagine a river, like a dirty river, and water when it like dries out, so it goes away and you just see all the mud and like some slushiness. So this is what I saw Manhattan Beach be like. So I'm like, and that's what you like? I mean, maybe it's good for people with kids because it's not deep and there are no waves. But I'm like, oh, I would much rather go back to Brighton Beach with the huge crowds of people. Alexei, well, hello. Weather has improved. It's better now. Manhattan Beach is not an ocean beach. Well, that's what I thought. It looked... Sorry, I'm just honest and I'm just giving my opinion, my subjective opinion. It looked unpleasant to me. As I'm talking to you, I forgot about my Starbucks. Look how nice houses here are. God, it's so quiet. I'm not sure. I've been... Oh, you've been to Brighton. Okay. Well, that's not far from Brighton. We will go to Brighton next, after here. I like that there is no... I don't think I'll be able to pass there unless I go over the fence, but let's not take the risk because I know my level of luck and I will end up somewhere in one of the hospitals on Brighton Beach. No, thank you. Beautiful homes. Have you been here, Joey? Next time, not tomorrow, but not next week, but maybe the week after that, on weekend, or maybe during the very last days, like the very last week of February, we will go to another place which I personally like the most, which is not too far from New York. It's also in New York State, but it's not New York City anymore, and I'll share the experience with you. Nasir, well, hello. Please tell me the time. Time is approximately well, close to 3 p.m. now because I started my stream at 2, as I do on every Saturday every week. Stream has been running for 45 minutes, so it's close to 3 p.m. now. So that's Manhattan Beach. Tell me what is here of the It looks like a bay. Well, specifically here, it's not really muddy and like slushy. You know what's left from like when the snow melts? But come on, is that a beach? I mean, maybe I'm too spoiled and anyone would be happy to see something like that. But compared to what we will see next after that, it's so-so. 2:45 New York, in New York City. Thank you, Anton. Of course, I have live streamed many times on Periscope and YouTube from there. Oh, nice. I wish I don't have any bread. I wish Periscope still existed. I think these are the seagulls that followed me from Emmons Avenue. You have crossed double line. Fine for that is you have to watch this stream for 2 more hours. That's your fine. See, that's what I meant. When it like dries out, when the water like moves away and it's becoming muddy. Right now it's not too bad. It's actually not bad at all, but it's, I mean, it doesn't even smell like the ocean. If in the other place where there were swans, it even smelled like really good ocean. Here it's it smells like dirt. Hello, Pepito. Roberto, welcome back. You promised to be here on the stream and you are. Good to see you. There are people who look for gold, not literally gold. Well, maybe also. But if someone lost something in water and it was washed off by the ocean, or not just in water, but maybe when they were on the beach, then he just goes, looks for that, picks it up, digs for it, and he's rich until the end of his life. Well, be careful, Rick. Don't mess with Nightbot. Okay, so you're ready to go to Brighton Beach from here. So I guess this is Manhattan Beach, right? Who knows? God, the light is so nice, right? Sometimes something looks better when you show it through the phone than in real life. Or sometimes you only see what it looks like in reality when you look at the phone, through the phone. And the bed houses which are the closest to the ocean, they are the most expensive ones. Also, they probably pay higher insurance for flood. Whenever you get a house, you see one of the things that you pay attention to is flood factor. Even in New York, even in Brooklyn. So here during Sandy, the houses which were closest to the water, they suffered the most. So insurance had to cover the cost. Depending on the insurance, people got sent to hotels. Most insurance covered it. Now they're very cautious about it to provide that cover. And if you have that cover, then it costs a lot of money. Because when the houses were flooded, where would you go? Unless you have like relatives or people you know who you can in whose houses you can spend time. People are sent to hotels at expense of insurance, sometimes for months. I know that it happened not just in Brighton, but also in Battery Park, which is in Manhattan. And I know personally some people who I used to work back then with, who spent 3 months at the hotel. They had no other choice because their house was flooded. And it's not a private home, it's a huge apartment building. This is a shower, so once you get out of the beach, you can take a shower, which is now not working because of cold temperature. They switch it off for winter. So the house where these people lived, it didn't have any electricity, didn't have any water, so it was completely flooded. It took them 3 months to put it back on track, and during that time insurance had to cover cost of living at the hotel. I think it was either a 3-star hotel or a 4-star hotel, but then price for insurance of course went up. Flood insurance, very pricey. Oh yes, do you have it as well, Sandman? Hurricane Sandy destroyed that neighborhood. I bet. I know that it definitely destroyed Brighton Beach, but this is in very close proximity to Brighton Beach. Tell me you got a big coat on, Nat. Well, I have several layers of everything. The only thing that I have in quantity of one is probably a coat. How should we dress for this cold today? Dress however you want and just don't go out. My advice to you from the bottom of my heart. I am far from water. And do you have insurance or not? Do you need to have that insurance? I know that some places require that. Like, for example, a place where we'll go, as I said when I was in that specific spot on the way there, not back, you cannot not have a flood insurance. Because even when there is no hurricane, it can still be flooded. Battery Park City was built on the sand that was excavated from the World Trade Center. Really? I didn't know. You'll be sent to Coney Island Hospital. Oh no, Rick. You know when was the last time I was in hospital? Never. Hello, Maria. Buona tarde a todos. Alexei. Thankfully, no flood insurance. I see. I am on higher ground. Well, good for you. Are there areas in New Jersey? I bet there are some which are close to the ocean, which require, or where people do take that insurance. Hello, Frank the Tank. Good to see you on live stream. Honestly, I am really happy to see when there are not too many followers, because I can respond to every comment, and I feel bad if I miss something. You can still see some construction around here. Well, I guess they are preparing for summer. Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Wow, nice. So that's Portuguese. Strong Soviet Russian ladies never go to hospitals for weak capitalistic. Oh, come on, Sandman. A lot of people go to hospitals not because they want to. Speaking of medicine, there are so many, I think more than any other store that you would see here, there are pharmacies. On every, not even corner, of each street, every second store is a pharmacy. One other place where I saw something like that was in Mexico, in Tulum, where I was in November. And when we go to Brighton Beach, you will see that names of pharmacies sometimes don't even contain signs written in the English language, only in the Russian language. I personally do not trust medicine in New York. I do not. I mean, I do not buy anything in pharmacy. Whenever I travel to Russia, that's where I buy medicine, or I buy it on Brighton Beach. It's just my own thing, because I think that from experience, medicine from Russia and from Europe is much better. Look how nice this house is. Hello, Woody Sergey. I know you. We are happy you are here. 1 second, guys. I spilled Starbucks more than I drank it. Let me go back to your messages to make sure that I didn't miss anything. Alexei is almost also from Brazil. Close, very close. Actually, there are more flood zones than I ever thought. In New Jersey, I had to check zones of houses when I was looking for a house. Is it Brooklyn? Yes, it's Brooklyn. They do not work on Saturdays. Who? People here? I bet people here might not even work at all. They don't need to. But I don't know. Another multi-million-dollar house. Oh yes, there are many in this area. But soon we will see the scenery change. And houses, as you will witness, will be much cheaper than that. Hello, Eric. Hello, hello. So I'm thinking which road to take now. We'll probably just continue straight. Area of Brighton Beach, it consists of apartment buildings for many families, as well as small buildings for one family, maybe sometimes two. Some of the houses, small houses, not like this house, is definitely owned by one family. But on Brighton Beach, what you will see, there are usually two entrances, and it's not just in Brooklyn, it's not specifically in Brighton Beach, but in many other areas of New York City. So there are two entrances, and sometimes a house is owned by two different families, and they never like really cross, because each of them has their own bathroom, each of them has their own, I'm not sure about the kitchen, but definitely bedroom or bedrooms, so it's very convenient. Also, people who rent prefer that, because they live in one building with someone else, but at the same time their passes don't really cross, which is very convenient, right? The tour, love it. Well, Eric, if you love the tour, please put thumbs up, would you? I will check the nightbot settings of anti-flood protection. Funny. I think it is a good area to live. Oh, there's a cat. It's not far from the city, so if subway works and works properly, then it would take you only 30, 35, maybe 40 minutes to get to the city. By the city, I mean, oh gosh, where are you going, squirrel? Oh, I mean center of Manhattan. While if subway works as always, it takes more than an hour. Everyone is at home there. I don't know. I mean, there are cars, but I've never seen really anyone next to these homes, no matter when I was here. Are you Lugaitis? What is Lugaitis? But it seems to me that Sergey really oak a tree. We call that a duplex if two separate families and entrances. Thank you, Frank the Tank. Wow, Alexei, you impressed me with your Spanish. Hello, let's go swimming. Hello, Leonid. No, thank you. I want to stay warm today. Squirrels are like deer since they have not learned to avoid cars, right? But I have a cat. Oh, nice. I love animals in general. Who did I have in my life? I mostly had dogs. I also had a parrot once and a rabbit once. A parrot, it was just an interesting story. I was walking with my brother in the center of Moscow, and the parrot was hiding under the car. So we rescued it, and it became our pet. It was actually like really, well, our pet bird. It was a very smart bird, actually. And yeah, I wish I had him here too. I also had fish, but not for too long, unfortunately. It's sad. And the rabbit started cutting all the cables in my apartment when I lived in Moscow. So we had to move her to the country house. And you know, like how they usually sell something, they say, it will be like, it will stay small, it will be so cute, it will not do that, it will not do this, and then it does that, it grows bigger than you are, and yeah, but it lived a really, really long life. What I cannot stand is that they don't live as long as people. It's like so heartbreaking. I guess people who have animals can understand me. Hello, Alex. Maria, don't believe Alexei. He lives in Brazil. He doesn't want to confess. That's true. No, it was a small, tiny green parrot. Like really small, like usually the type which live together with another parrot, you know. Thank God it was not speaking, otherwise it would tell me everything it thought about me. Whew. I remember you are from Bangladesh. I remember. So, next week Saturday. Nobody yet guessed where I will be. So let me tell you myself. Or should it be a surprise? Huh? Which way do you prefer? You see more and more Ukrainian flags, which look more like... You cannot even tell that it's a Ukrainian flag because of the color that is not the same as it was in the beginning when it started hanging here. Surprise. Okay, who else? Natalia, español es perfecto. Natalia, español non parlamaro. Tell us, surprise. Okay, who else? Surprise or tell you now? San Francisco, nope. Animals are a big responsibility, oh yes. You can wet your feet in the Atlantic Ocean. Well, for that I have to take off 3 pairs of socks and super warm shoes. I can hardly unzip my shoes now because of the socks. So it would be really tough. Do you know where Bangladesh is? Of course. After 3rd time you wrote about it? Yes. Let me guess. You will write next that, oh, it's Pakistan. Am I a psychic? You will be in D6 bunker next week because commissariat on set, so I don't like closed areas. I'm not claustrophobic, but I cannot even, like, I like to move all the time, so you're not going to put me in a bunker, Mr. Sandman. I agree with most. Surprise. Okay, it will be a surprise. Go Times Square tomorrow, Sunday, Natalia. Tomorrow we will go. I will actually scope tomorrow. I will stream tomorrow. Tomorrow there will be something happening in Bryant Park to celebrate Chinese New Year. So if nothing happens in between, at 10 a.m. New York time tomorrow, expect a stream. Mission is more important than anything else. Sandman, have some respect for me. Okay, so now we're in the area of Brooklyn that is called Brighton Beach. You see this car that is turning? They have even different types of taxis here. In most of New York City, taxis are yellow cabs, right? Well, here there are all sorts of cars that are cabs, including like luxury. It can be a Ferrari, also a cab, and sometimes it costs the same price. Or Tesla. Well, now you also see yellow cab Teslas, but this is the place where it appeared first. And you see that these are mostly houses now, not the small houses, not the privately owned homes, but big apartment buildings. And apartments here are actually pricey, like you would think, right? So a 1-bedroom apartment in this area, well, costs $2,500, $2,500. That's not cheap. That's not cheap. We will speak to Nightbot. I will have a word with him after this. New York is not all about Times Square. New York has plenty of wonderful places to go other than Times Square. That is true. So you see names of the streets. So that's Brighton 15, and it crosses Brighton Beach Avenue. In some place, as you probably remember from my streaming in Manhattan, some places have double names. In some countries, it's a whole long, tough procedure to make the change. But here you just need to get some confirmations from the city, from a specific district, sometimes from a community of something, and then you can change part of the street. Well, not exactly change, but add something. And since war burst in 2022 February, well, almost a year ago, they decided to change part of Brighton, I believe Brighton Beach Avenue, and they called it Ukrainian Way. Honestly, I think it's a good idea because story, not because it's related to war or anything, but because this place is so much Ukrainian, and it has been for more than half a century now. So you see that signs are written both in Cyrillic and in the language you can understand. You don't understand me well. What can I do? No, not too many people outside because it's still cold. Not as cold as it was this morning, but still pretty cold. Not minus 25 degrees Celsius. Who can understand Fahrenheit besides Americans? Is there anyone who can understand Fahrenheit? I know how to transfer from Fahrenheit approximately to Celsius. So it's, let's say in Fahrenheit it's 50. Then you take out 30, which is 20, and then you divide by 2, which is 10 Celsius. That's approximately. And you see the houses that are here, they're pretty small. And at the bottom of each house, there are plenty of shops or restaurants. Yes, we're on Brighton Beach. Natalia and streams for Highline plant. We did one stream from Highline, I believe. It's either cold or hot. Number isn't important. Huh? Whoever doesn't understand F, just Google it. Did I say the F word? Oh, I understand what you mean. Then someone wrote that they don't understand something. So people who you see here, most of them don't speak a word in any other language rather than Russian. And funny enough, the least people you would find here are from Russia. Most people are from Ukraine, and now, as of recently, also from Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, and other Soviet republics. Whoever doesn't understand Fahrenheit, just Google it. Got it. I understood now. Sorry, Lizzie. Thank you for clarification. Sandman, of course, higher management allowed this trip, or approved that trip. This is, well, that's what the area that is called Little Odessa, which a lot of people consider to be a Russian area, but the very few things you will actually see that are real Russia. The things that are real Russia, yes. It's Soviet, I would say. Soviet or Ukrainian, more than anything. We are going to Brighton Beach, but we are not going to swim. It's very cold outside. So I started saying, but then I switched, of course, to something else. So there are pharmacies, a lot of pharmacies. There are also luxury buildings. For example, the one-bedroom apartment in a building like this, which is also a gated community. So a one-bedroom can easily cost the same price as in Manhattan. So $4,000 US. Hello, Lucia or Lucia. A podiatrist, that's what is a podiatrist? I get confused. Podiatrist is the person who works with feet or who works with kids? Help me, guys. I got stray cats that I feed, if that counts. Only 2. What are stray cats? Foot doctor, thank you. So for your feet. Some stores, okay, so you see, and as of, they did not emphasize too much Ukrainian background of this place, but now, since last year, they do. So Odessa is a city on the sea in Ukraine, and a lot of people who live here, a lot of Ukrainians who live here are from Odessa, and this is why they actually moved here, because it reminded them of their homeland. And they started the first people during Soviet times. As you probably know, the border was closed during Soviet time, so it was close to impossible to move out of the Soviet Republic. But in 1970s, the first people started moving out of Ukraine, of Odessa, and they settled in here. So that was after Brighton Beach before was used by very rich people, and they used it as a resort and as their place to rest. So then it became a poor place, and because it was poor with affordable prices, immigrants from Soviet Russia felt very comfortable here, and they created communities. So one person moved here, then they brought a family, and so on. So now there is fifth generation of Ukrainians and Soviet people, well, now not Soviet anymore, that move here. Most people who settled here, they don't even speak English, and they live here, all of them, like if they moved like at a really, well, back then they are older people, right? So what they do here? Well, they walk, almost, it's like a really big village, really big Russian, by Russian I don't mean Russian, I mean Soviet village. So people just know each other here. They walk to the beach, they go to the beach during summer months. They just spend a lot of time there. Even in winter they just go to the beach to take a walk. That's their life. Do they work? No. Their families, like younger generation, might go to school. So pretty much the idea of original immigrants was to move here, to settle down here, to make life of next generations easy, simple, and successful. That's what they did. So people who are here from, I would say, first 3 generations, they have not even worked here. Well, unless, well, maybe some did. They live here a lot of times on welfare. What is welfare? Let me first read your messages and then I will continue. One of the most expensive chains of stores is called Net Cost. So it's located not just in Brooklyn, not just in New York City, but also in other states. If I'm not mistaken, the owner of that store, or the chain of stores, is from Tashkent, which is a city in one of the former Soviet republics as well, and it's very popular, and price there are very good. There are 2 stores where I usually shop. One of them is Net Cost, and the other one is Tashkent. I'm not sure if it's the same owner, but I wouldn't be surprised. Well, since Soviet times, there were a lot of artists, like singers, actors, even Zelensky was performing here. So they on the ground floor there is a store. On the second floor there is a concert hall, and that's like whoever is coming next you can find here. And tickets, you were able to buy tickets here, but right now it's only online. We will not go to the store because they don't allow to film there, but one day I will do it discreetly. Watch out for balloons? What do you mean? What about Odessa? I don't understand. What did you say? What about Odessa? Ask the question. So this is who will be performing here, who already did recently. I'm going back to your messages. Okay, let me just make sure I did not miss anything. Miguel, hello. Kids is a pediatrician. Thank you, Frank. I always confuse this. I will probably ask you several more times because I'll probably forget. Can we see you on live stream? I look like a snowman right now. I have many layers of clothes. There is nothing special, but sure. All right. Horeca for Rilka, what is that? The Chinese spy, the Chinese spy balloon was shot down off the coast of South Carolina. Was it really? I saw that something happened. Well, it's dangerous. I don't want to go into politics, but wow, that was crazy about the balloon. What about Odessa? Okay, I read that. So Zelensky was here. He was performing before because if someone doesn't know, Zelensky is the president of Ukraine, and he used to be in humor programs, right? So he came with performances here, and he was here right before he became president. What about the cockroach? Oh, you like the way I look? I look like, well, I didn't care about the way I was dressed or what I looked like, as long as I was warm when I went out. So homes here in this area are completely different, as you can see, from what we saw in the area of Manhattan Beach. Most people from Odessa who immigrated, and the reason for their immigration, among others, in search of better life, was because they were Jewish, and Jewish were not welcome in Soviet countries, in the Soviet Russia, and that's why they moved here for freedom of religion. And that's why you see a lot of synagogues here and a lot of symbols of Jewish people. Sergey, that's your first warning. I know who you are. I have blocked you many times. That's first and last warning. So the second store where prices are really good, food is super fresh, and I buy a lot of things from Russia, even though it's not a Russian place, it's Tashkent. You can see yourself which country this is. That's this. It's really, really good. And they sell, oh, look at that. President Xi and President Putin. And I don't understand a thing that is written here. Well, what is above us? That's so weird. There is a lot of rust on this, whatever this is. Well, that's subway. Trains go up there. And now we're in the epicenter of Soviet area. Like, it cannot be more Soviet than this. Let's see which stores are here. It has changed a lot even since I moved here in 2012. Now a lot of stores have English names, and there are even like banks, chains with English names on them, but some still keep authentic names. Unfortunately, with the war that burst last year, they have removed everything that is like even a little reminds of Russia, and that's very, very sad, because this place started losing its authenticity. I look beautiful, yes, sure, especially the way I look now. So beautiful. Oh yeah, it is. It is the same one. Now, where is the Russian mop located? We won't tell. Ooh, I can tell you. Otherwise, I'll have to do something with you. And I don't want to, Rick. Sorry, I'll say something in Russian. Okay? No, actually, I'll say in English. Anton, can you block that Woody Sergey, please? Okay. Funny things that you see here. So if you have any questions about what you see, let me know. I will, in addition to my comments about this place, I will answer your questions. So there are people speaking Russian, and what is interesting or different about places here? Well, that even if something is illegal in the entire America, you can always find a deal with people here. Either you pay them cash and you get something what you need in other places have prescription for, or you need to know someone who knows someone who knows someone who will tell something about you to someone, and that way you will get something for free. So even if they don't sell something here, they can get it. It depends on who you know and how you are. And people in Russia, they can be, maybe because of weather conditions, maybe because of life conditions, they can be sometimes not very friendly. But people who live here, who are from that place, and I don't mean Russia again, I mean Russian-speaking countries, they are better, but they can still have an attitude. So if you come to a store here and you ask for, let's say, sausage, they would respond to you, "Which sausage? Why do you want sausage?" It's like, none of your business. Okay, bye! Easily. Suffering. The name of this stop is called Brighton Beach. So unfortunately, attitude of Russians can be, or maybe fortunately, because it's also authentic, can be experienced here. And old Russian, what you guys call in America babushkas, but they're not babushkas. In the Russian language, it's babushka. Stress is on a different syllable. I was just saying that people are bad, and he was waving. Natalia's a liar. Well, Russian babushkas, they go with cards like you saw. Odessa, Pearl by the Sea. Oh yes. Then again, Russian media, or in the Russian language. Funny guy. That's a very famous Russian singer. He just turned. He would have turned if he had he not died. He would have turned 85. He's a very, very big talent in Russia. Lizzie works very fast. I can't keep. Oh, Lizzie already blocked him. Well, thank you, Lizzie. This is a guy who is my stalker. He, I'll tell you a story. So he was. When I went to Moscow, I only did one stream there. Reason being is that he followed me, and I was like, I had to. Oh, I don't even want to go into details. I blocked his accounts maybe. Not to lie, at least 20 times, and he keeps creating new ones. He's like, oh god, I can't imagine. I'm nobody, like I'm no one famous or anything, but I don't know how life of celebrities is if that happens to me. I mean, people sometimes are just sick, crazy. So you wouldn't be able to tell that this part is really Russian or Russian speaking, because they changed a lot of names of these stores. Only some names remained what they were like many years ago, but a lot has changed in the past year only. Oh yeah, he definitely is. People who live in buildings around here, on one hand, it's pretty cool because you live very close to the ocean. And I mean, what can be better than the breeze from the ocean, or even like put your feet in the ocean in summer. But on the other hand, trains here, I know that sometimes they break and they don't really run that often in New York, especially not like it has changed for the worse in the past few years. But still, they run and the sound is pretty bad. It's pretty loud and pretty bad. But I mean, like everything in New York, it's loud. So if you live in New York, you need to be used to it. People who immigrate, even a new generation of immigrants who come here, mostly they come for either through a Mexican border, so they cross illegally, or they come from Ukraine because of the event, so they do it legally but differently than before. They settle here. Why? And they sometimes don't even move out of this area. Well, that's there is a simple reason behind it. Because to live here, you don't need to speak English. You don't need to know a word of English. You can easily accommodate, you can easily assimilate with the... One second, let me speak of the noise. That was a guy I knew who passed. His name is Mudelia. Funny. I knew I would meet someone I know. So anyway, oh gosh, what was I saying? So they move for better salary, which they have here, even if they work illegally. But at the same time, same time they can feel at home. So nothing really changes for them. Also, since there is a very big community that helps people here, people from Odessa love to dress up. Sometimes you think that there is a person who is going to some live performance, to some, not live performance, but to a ballet or something like this, where you have to be dressed up, or if there is like some event where people have to like really look nice. But it's what they do every day in their life, and it's very nice to see that people take care of themselves, which they always do in Russia and in Ukraine for sure. I'm not sure about other Soviet countries, but they do it here as well. So it's also difficult to find a job in America sometimes. Let me just, guys, read through your messages, and then I will continue, okay? Because I think I left you without attention for a while. Pravda newspapers for sale on Brighton. I don't know if there was Pravda. Pravda is the truth. It's one of the major Soviet newspapers. But we'll see if there will be. It was Standard? No, that was Subway. Welcome everyone. Please press the like button and subscribe if you have not yet. Let's help this great channel get to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much, Lizzie, for writing this. And I recommend to all newcomers to this channel subscribe so as not to miss online streams. That's very true. Okay, so it can be very challenging for a newcomer to find a job in America if you were not born here, if you did not study here, if you don't have a background of working in America. It can be tough to impossible to find a job, and especially if you don't speak a language. Well, people find job easily here because it's a lot of times it's illegal, but I mean, at least they work, right? And some don't even try to legalize themselves. They just feel comfortable doing what they do. They feel comfortable not paying taxes, and they live like this until the end of their lives. While others, and such people are not really many, I would say that there are such people who are younger that do want to like jump higher, right? So to go higher, and that's why they do try to like learn the language, because there are also free courses where you can there are free courses to learn English, or free meetup groups where you can exchange knowledge of language. Oh my god. I wish I didn't know Russian. It's funny. So they sell bras, they sell socks, they sell what you wash, like cleaning, like what you wash floors with. So funny that it's written here like that. How long I wasn't in Brooklyn. Oh, well, welcome back. So they find jobs here as well as apartments. So apartments in New York is not that easy to rent. So if you have money, it doesn't mean that you can rent an apartment easily. In addition to having money, you also need to have a stable income. Also, if you don't have like bank account here, and if you just moved here, of course, chances are that you don't have a bank account. Well, to have a bank account, it's there's only one bank from which, like the one that I know, that opens accounts for foreigners and easily. Some banks do it here in this area in Brighton, on Brighton Beach. And to rent an apartment, you need, since you don't have a bank account, you need to have some sort of like guarantee that you will be able to pay for apartment, because once you start renting, it's very difficult to kick out tenants. And here it's easier. So because of the community, because of the help of that community, you can really easily rent an apartment here. Yes, it will cost a lot, and yes, most people just rent not a full apartment because it's still very pricey, but rather a room in the apartment. Sometimes it can be in the basement, sometimes it can be in bad conditions, sometimes a room is shared with someone else, but at least it's something to start with. And as I said, some people don't even want to change such conditions. Hello, Lily. Shorts, yes, trousers. That was funny. Не знаю, как швабра. What's English for швабра? I don't even know if there is such word in English as швабра. Trash is thrown out differently in Brooklyn, so there is space sometimes between buildings, and that's why, well, I wanted to say that there is not a lot of trash outside, but not as bad as in Manhattan. So if you guys have any questions while I'm taking a small break from talking, this channel is gaining about 50 new subscribers every few days. Isn't that great? Thank you for that, to all of you. Pies with cabbage. Oh yes, they have them. Natalia shows us there are any business. Which business are you talking about? Oh, and by the way, if so, there are notaries in the entire New York, right? So there are notaries here that translate from the Russian language and notarize immediately. It's all about Soviet and Russia here, Soviet countries and Russia here. What I mean by that, there is a lot of cheating, there is a lot of illegal stuff, there is a lot of like done by connections stuff, through connections, like if you know someone. There's a lot of stuff that is like super weird. There's also what funny thing. I don't know if we can see it now. I hope it's here outside, but I really hope that it's that we will see it. We will witness what I am going to tell you now. So you see that there are people outside in that store. Well, what is put outside is products that are expired. They sell them for cheaper in normal America. Oh, by the way, they call this place Brighton Beach. And when they go outside of Brighton, people who live here most of the times don't even leave Brighton, and they don't think that this is America. So they say that when we go to America, meaning when we go to New York City, meaning when we go to Manhattan, or like outside of Brighton, they think that the rest outside of Brighton, that's America. So let's see when this expires. So you see expiration. God, my hands are cold, frozen. But on the level of my finger, it says 2022, so it expired in 2022, and that's from Poland. Then Tsar Alexander II. Let's see when he expired, or if he did. Oh, he expired in February of 2020. Okay, what else do we have here? Cookies. The cookies I had in Russia, but without any nuts. Well, those expired. Oh, they haven't even expired yet. Alright, that's weird. Something is wrong. I don't know if you guys have this in America, but we love this type of product in Russia. I don't even know the name of it in English. Let me see how much, when it expired, not how much it costs. I don't see the, oh, here. Expiration is on the top. Oops. So it expired in November 2022. And that's why, oh God, and it's also broken. And yeah, so things that you find outside are usually only expired things, which you see a lot in Russia. No one cares. I'm surprised that they allow this in America, but yeah, it's funny to see. And I do buy things here sometimes as well. What do you use this product for? You make a porridge out of it, but honestly, you can have food after the yeah, you can. You know what I just noticed? And pay attention to the bottles of sparkling water. Even those expire. But I think reason for that is they don't really expire, but maybe they are not as bubbly after a certain period of time. And when I was looking, I was like, I don't even remember why I looked at it, but I wasn't looking for it specifically. But I saw that even a bottle of water, of sparkling water, has an expiration. But it all expired. So there was a store that was called Taste of Russia. But last year, they removed the sign. They said that lease of the store has expired, and they gave like pretty bad explanation to it. But honestly, it's all politics. I think that regardless of politics, things like, I mean, why do that? It's history, you know. It's part of life. I mean, if I'm Russian, am I supposed to be removed from this world as well? No. So what's the point of removing stores that have Russian names? They have not been disturbing anyone for so long, and now all of a sudden it became an issue. Really? The taste changed a little. Yeah, but I mean, I don't care most of the times, but I mean, to some people it's really important. Please be sure to share Natalia's channel with your friends. We appreciate your support. Thank you, Patrick. Natalia, the place is close to Coney Island. Yes, and we will go to Coney Island next. They have 2 weeks to expire, yes, but soon enough they will. You speak English? Well, I'm sorry, I speak only English. Yeah, I'll try to say something a little in Russian, but mostly English. A little white last week. A little white what? In Russian, of course you can ask a question in Russian. Yes, you can. You're almost near my old high school, Lafayette. Nice. I don't know where this is though. Hello, Travel Treasure. Is it the first year there is no snow in New York? Well, it's difficult to say that there is no snow. It did snow a few times, but the snow did not stay on the ground. In the 11 years, almost 11 years since I've lived here, I have not seen snow. I did not see, it's the first year when I did not see a blizzard. Let me put it that way. Toilet paper matters. Something is up with toilet paper here. Broom, that's like mitla, but that's different. Именно швабра, so how to say швабра? Alright, let me just see which messages were sent before. Everybody entitled to American dream. That's very true, Mikey. And that's what people come here to America for different types of freedoms. People require a high school diploma or bachelor's degree to find a good paid job here, Natalia. Yes, like everywhere, Roberto, but here specifically, people can work as aid to like elderly people, or they can work as like in medical offices, and sometimes, and most of the times, people who just immigrate here, who don't speak English, don't even have, well, sometimes they actually do have education, sometimes they have 2 higher educations, but not from here. In New York, there are not a lot of places, honestly, and again, this is my subjective opinion, I have not seen one good bakery in New York, not one. Not a bakery that smells like freshly baked bread, you know. If you saw, some stores here are now closed. Well, because they are closed for the weekend. During the week, they are usually open. It's good that the metro doesn't run so often, otherwise people would get deaf. Absolutely. 100%. So there are its own advantages. Heading toward Ocean Parkway. That's where we're headed. Senator, well, hello. Was the Russian restaurant a shootout scene from Lord of the War? I don't know. From Lord of the War film there. I don't watch TV. Sorry. Now we will go to the ocean and then to Coney Island. So Russian ladies go, old ladies go with such carts. It's very helpful to them because they can put food there that they bought, but they also can use it to sit. And they use it a lot to sit and to walk. It also helps them walking. And in summer, when it's not as cold as now, it's funny. In Russia, we say that there are usually outside of each house there is a bench. So even an apartment building, I mean, not a private home. We see a lot of babushkas gossiping there. So whenever there is like a new or a lady, like a young girl who goes out and she like wears a miniskirt, that's a reason, that's something to discuss for these babushkas for a long time, right? Well, here it's the same. They don't have benches here, but they use these carts to sit on them and gossip about everything, everyone passing by, about life, about whatnot. And they are very, very Republican here. So they're very conservative because time has like stopped here in the 90s. That was one of the biggest waves of immigration. That was when the Soviet Union actually broke apart. And people, so I would say the first serious wave was in 1970 something. Second like serious wave was in 1991, 92. And when you ask people around here who will pass, like, when did you move here? I'm sure that most people will say that they moved either in 70s or in 90s. And so people gossip about everything here, and it's and the time has stopped in the 90s here. So even things which in Russia, in Ukraine, and in other former Soviet countries, you don't find there anymore, you will be sure to find here. And I love it. Honestly, it's like when I see something, when I personally go to a store and there's like a chocolate which reminds me of childhood, or if there is like something that, like the probably memories from childhood are one of the best memories, right? So when you see something, you're like, oh, anything from the name of it to the taste of it, it just puts a huge smile on your face, right? That's grandpa in Russian, dedushka. So dedushka and babushka. So we're learning Russian. Babushka, which you guys call babushka, relearn, because it's not babushka, it's babushka. And dedushka. Dedushka is grandfather, grandma, and grandpa. Nice nails. I need to remake them. Like a time machine, exactly. And I love this place. On one hand, I love this place, but on the other hand, I wouldn't be able to live here because I go to the beach here whenever I do, which hardly ever happens. But then there are people who, on one hand, it's pretty cool to like hear what they talk about, and it's like really, really Soviet, and it's with a Soviet accent, like with the Odessa accent. They do have a really accent that you can distinguish immediately. But on the other hand, it's like to live in this, when you come to make like progress, to grow, it's cool to see it, but it's different when you live in this. Because I personally think if you immigrate, if you move to a country which has its own language, right? Even though there is a whole mix of different languages, if it's a country with its own rules, you don't come to someone else's country with your own rules. So you somehow have to adjust, at least to make it to thank the country that let you in, and this is, we are approaching Boardwalk and the ocean. So this is a better part of the ocean, which is Brighton Beach and not Manhattan Beach. And people who live here, on one hand, it's very expensive to live here, right? But how do people who don't work here, like elderly people, old people, how do they cope? I'll tell you in a few seconds as we're approaching the ocean and as I'm reviewing your messages, and we'll answer them first, and then I'll go back to that. remind me where I stopped if I forget, please. Yandex translator says Schwaber mop. Oh yes, most likely. Thank you, Jim. One of your favorite beaches. Nice, Roberto. This is... No, это тряпка, mop. This is the ocean. This is the ocean. These are restaurants. They are now closed, but in summer they are open. There are two most famous restaurants here. There was a lot of mafia, Russian mafia. There were a lot of Russian singers and who not who came there. It's mostly popular during summer months, but I think they're open now as well. The boardwalk on which we are walking, you can sometimes see people come here with their hammers, and you see like how this piece of wood is sticking out. Well, sometimes there are people who, well, people can injure themselves. So just a regular person, just like you and me, they can come with their own materials and they can put the wood in the right place. Okay, let me go to your messages, I promised. Let's get not paid. How? Like for example, real honey never expires. Oh, I didn't know that, Nibul. That's something new to me. 2020 was the packing date of tea, not the expiration date. Maybe you are right. But still, some things did already expire. Heading toward Ocean Parkway. Now we're headed back to Brighton Beach, but just to the restaurants, and then we will go to Coney Island. Sunsets here are beautiful. It's good that I read. Remember, guys, when people come to the USA, it's for better life. That is true. Russians and Ukrainians live together on Brighton. Politics did separate them, so there are tensions. But I mean, they don't have a choice, right? Italian pastry, Villa Bait in Benso. Where is that, Joey? And do you mind sending this separately to me? Oh, by the way, Joey, you're using my old Instagram. I don't use it anymore. I saw that you sent something. I just remembered now that I saw your message, but I forgot to open it because I don't go there. If you can send money here, if you can send to people in need, you mean to America or to Ukrainians in Ukraine? Ukraine, you definitely can. Also, there are different organizations that help Ukrainians or even like Russians here. So yes, answer is yes, you can do it. We will go to Coney Island after that. Babushka Nura, oh yes. Everybody who comes to the US with a foreign degree has to go to the university here to get a certification to validate your degree before you can work. That's very true. And it's sometimes it's very difficult. I love wooden walkways. Me too, but not all walkways here, not all boardwalk is wooden, because during Sandy this boardwalk was completely ruined. And now they have changed a few things, including they put... Oh, it's not here, but next place where we will be in 2 weeks, I will show you what they did after Hurricane Sandy, and to prevent flood, God forbid, another hurricane damages. Well, if water goes out. You know what's funny? Hurricane, what is hurricane? So it's supposed to be like, and it is really damaging. But at the same time, I was here for Hurricane Sandy. I was in Manhattan, yes. But wind was not stronger than it was on other days, on some other days. Gusts of winds were not stronger. But at the same time, water starts to come out of like where it's supposed to stop. And it's just like something different. So it does not seem any different to me than some like windy, cold days in New York, you know? Cleo is here. Well, Cleo, hello. All right. It's so nice in the sun. Hurricane, water surge. Yeah, and water just... So to me, I know that a lot of people, thank God, didn't experience hurricane, and I wish you never to experience a hurricane or not to be in the epicenter of it. But it seems like a regular day honestly. It's just that something is happening to water. In summer, in some parts of that beach, now not everywhere. On Coney Island, you wouldn't see lifeguards, but on the part of the beach the closest to Manhattan Beach, where we're headed now, direction where we're headed now, that's where lifeguards are. Last year, they removed lifeguards from here, from all other places, because no one wants to either get vaccinated, and that's one of the requirements of the city, or the pay is very low. So two restaurants, or two parts of one restaurant, and the second restaurant, which is now closed, which are the most famous. It's called Tatiana, which is there, and that's me, not Tatiana, and Tatiana Grill. So that's the most famous restaurant here. And another one that is called Volna. It's a very, very Soviet name. It stands for a wave. And now we will go to Coney Island. Water does the most damage. That's true, Patrick. Nature is has its own life. It's very strong. Same in the Caribbean neighborhood. Gossip. What? Winds have to be sustained at over 74 miles per hour to be defined as a hurricane. Well, I think, especially in Manhattan, it's always windy. And sometimes wind is so strong that, when hurricane happened, it didn't seem any different to me. And I think it's not as much the wind as the gusts of wind, but I might be wrong about that. We will go now closer to water. Let's go to the place where... and I think I missed, or maybe I didn't. We did not pass one yet. But there are also showers all along the beach, which is very convenient. The sky is beautiful, right? Going to be filming locations. Brother 2. We just passed one. Brother 2 is a very famous Russian movie, or movie in the Russian language. A guy who is the main actor there. He died I think during avalanche. No fishermen inside today. There might be some people fishing and swimming. A cruise over there. I think Rockaway Beach is there. Staten Island is to our right. And there is New York City ferry that doesn't run yet to Brighton Beach, but it will. And when it will start running, which I think will happen in summer of this year, it will stop right where we go, on the level of Coney Island. Why no snow? Good question. God, why not? I don't know. Brighton Beach Memoir is a great movie. I'll have a look. Oh, now I can see everything you're writing. Salman, what is interesting about that festival? Which festival did he write about? Your signal and audio is amazing. Amazing today. That's good. Toilets are closed for winter, but there are several toilets along this boardwalk, and it's also very convenient. Also, distance between them. And I think, we did not pass yet. If we continue walking along this boardwalk, there will also be New York Aquarium. People who live in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut can go there for free. Natalia, go close to sea. I will show you showers, and then I will turn to the ocean. It's not exactly the sea, it's the ocean. On the east coast, where we are now, it's... Which ocean? I will let you respond. And which ocean? But please, people who are in America, don't respond to this. So these are showers. And this place after that, that's where lifeguards' office is. Water is cold, very cold. I still have my Starbucks. I actually didn't drink that much. I think I spilled more than I drank. If you want snow, we can send a lot your way. Is it still snowing in Wisconsin? It may take a while to drive it out over though. I will be in a place where it will snow in March. You guys see see my Miguel? You guys see my at least I want to hear. Sorry, Miguel. We see you, Miguel. +8. Water is +8 degrees. Oh. Ocean looks really nice when it snows. So the ocean doesn't freeze, but snow. So instead of gold sand, you see white snow. I hope connection doesn't change as we get closer to water. And there are a lot of shells or pieces of shells here. You grew up in Bay Ridge. Nice. I think New York City Ferry now goes to Bay Ridge. I'm like, my feet are drowning in snow, in sand. What a view. Denver, no, is there snow in Denver in March? Still? It will not be in America. The sound of waves, and waves are not, I don't remember a day when waves were really strong here, so even kids can swim here safely. And on January 1st there is an annual plunge of people who are not afraid of cold water. I was filming it today, not today, but this year, and I will probably make a separate video about this because connection, I was just starting my channel and connection was really bad at that point, so I could not show it to you, but I will probably either make a separate video on it or I will show it next year. But this year it was super warm. It was like 15 degrees Celsius above zero. Gorgeous shot. But still 3-4 hours flight away from, oh, even more. It will be probably more like a 9-hour flight. I don't know if the snow will be real there though. I don't ski. I'm so bad at it. When I went to school we did have to ski, but it was not down the mountains because there are no mountains in Moscow. But we had to go probably not in weather like this, maybe. I just remember when a kid I was never cold. And even though I never dried my hair and I went to the swimming pool like every day, and yeah, I think that maybe temperature was similar to what we have now, but I never dried. It's so nice, footprints, but I was never cold. But anyway, we had, like, when we had our PT lessons, we had to go to the forest and ski, but that was probably the last time I ever did that. Hello, Misha. Coney Island, my 28 West, huh? This is the best live stream of Coney Island ever seen. Aww, that's pleasant to me, thank you. We will go a little farther from the ocean now, because I think as we are now close to it, it's a little chilly. So if you don't mind, I'll go back to Boardwalk. Lifeguards were paid approximately $20, I think, dollars an hour last year. Normal work day of any person in America is 8 hours per day, 40 hours per week, and anything that is above that, so people get paid overtime. I mean hourly employees. Lucia Francesca, or how do you pronounce your name? Wow, look at how beautiful it looks. The wind blows. I hope that you can still hear what I'm saying, because there are no mountains, only in the Urals and in the Colorado. No mountains in Yekaterinburg. I need to go swimming there in summer. You should. Beautiful view, and with the sun. Cold will drain your battery. Well, my phone was fully charged when I started the stream, Cleo. So how do you pronounce your name? Cleo or Cleo? I don't want to mispronounce it. But I think my battery will be drained before my phone will die because of the cold. Короче, не будет она плавать. No, I will not swim today. I saw something drawn on some rocks. I don't remember where this was, and people never pay attention to this. I hope these are the rocks which we are passing now, and I'll show you. Dogs cannot be unleashed. It's punished by law in New York. Beautiful rock. I hope it's somewhere here, I really do, but it doesn't look that way. This looks like something, right? Look, some art. I don't remember. Oh wow, look at this ice. You can tell that it's super cold. I'll show you. Water is super cold. It's 8 degrees Celsius, which is about 40 degrees Fahrenheit, I think. Look at the ice. I feel exactly the same now as these rocks look. Natalia forgot her bathing suit today. Well, if I by surprise get 10,000 followers today, just like that, I promise to go swimming even in the clothes I'm wearing. I guess I'm saying it because I know that it won't happen. Okay, we will go to the boardwalk on the level of aquarium. You know that in the beginning of 20th century, so now there is one amusement park, right? In the beginning of 20th century, for rich people and for people who wanted to like somehow change their to relax, there were 4 amusement parks. 4. Now there is one, and I think it's the only amusement park in New York City. Not I think that but I know. One of the more famous rides there. Ricky, are you still here? So that's called Cyclone or Cyclone, however you pronounce it. Sorry, my English is not my first language. And it just celebrated its, I believe, 50th birthday recently. I went there for the first time myself, not on the Cyclone though, last year, and I loved it. I felt super dizzy, I felt super bad, but that was after the 4th ride. And I felt like really bad, but I wanted to challenge myself, so I didn't want to just leave as is, because I bought a pass for like a full day pretty much. So there are different ways you can pay for it. Within a park there is another park, so I thought that, for example, a wheel you can take with that day pass, I think maybe like 4-hour pass, but you cannot. So it's a different park within the same park, so you pay separately for it. And you get a bracelet which you scan at the entrance to each ride. And so it's never crowded, even like in summer when it's like super warm on weekends. So I definitely recommend that you go there, especially if you have kids or if you want to challenge yourself. I went on the rides which seemed the most dangerous. Well, one of the most, okay, not the most, but one of the most dangerous to me. And some rides you can take as many times as you want if you fall within this 4-hour time frame. I think it's 4 hours. But others you can only take once, like the most I guess exciting or the most dangerous. I don't know why, but honestly I didn't even go on them. Is Nathan's Hot Dogs open? I think it is. So you probably, especially people who live in America, heard about Nathan's Hot Dog contest, which is happening every year on July 4th. Well, it's happening here. And there we can see a New York City ferry that is making its way over to Rockaway Beach. Again, ice. Yana is leaving us? Or Yana is just here? My hands are frozen. I wish I could rewind some messages, but my hands are frozen. Let me just warm my hand, one of my hands, and then I'll do that. Oh, I'm trying, Roberto. Trust me, your English is a lot better than many Americans. No way. But compliment taken, thank you. At least that made me smile. The coldest temperature I ever experienced was minus 48 degrees Celsius, minus 55 Fahrenheit. That's freezing. That's impossible for me to imagine. When you lived in Alaska, Alaska can get that cold? Well, I guess because it used to be part of Russia at some point, right? Oh, these Russians. I do have gloves, but if I put them on, I wouldn't be able to read messages. Nathan's hot dog is open all year round. Well, there you go. In summer, I don't remember on which day or if it's related to any specific date, but there is also a parade, which I think is the only parade that is happening on the ocean. It's called Mermaid Parade. So people dress up like sea creatures and they walk on the boardwalk around, not far from Coney Island. Most events are happening closer to Coney Island, so nothing is really happening on Brighton Beach. It's mostly on Coney Island beach that things are happening. Among interesting things in summer, until I believe someday in August or maybe even early September, every Friday there are fireworks, free fireworks, which any of you can come and see. I went last year to watch some of them, and it was really interesting because they're always different. Sometimes it's like, oh, wow, then it's like, okay. And then other times it can be like, so in the beginning you are thinking about leaving, and then it just bursts to be like, it ends up being so cool. I don't understand you, Bogdan. What do you mean if there is much money from Russia? Sunset is I don't know at what time sunset is, but I would say, is this snow? It looks like snow, right? It is snow. Wow. I would say that sunset is at around 5 p.m. these days, maybe a little later, 5:15. I'm surprised there is snow. Okay, so aquarium is right over there, and Coney Island and amusement park. I think we will, if you guys don't mind, we will walk all the way to Coney Island, and I will show you amusement park up close. Plus, even if it's late in your country, tomorrow is Sunday, you can sleep in. What do you think? Joey wrote that sunset is at 5:17 today. Thank you, Joey. What you never find there is a treasure, Natalia. Really, why not? Well, treasure to me is ice. Treasure to me is sunset. Treasure to me is lack of any people here. Treasure to me is what like parts of animals, sea animals that I find here. What is it called? Like a thing with I wish I saw it here now to show it to you. Oh, sorry, I'll say it in Russian. What is Anton, what is Mitch Hvost in English? I forgot. God, the name of this animal. People who live here must know it. It looks it has a sharp tail. There are seasons for different things here by water. So there are seasons when there are a lot of these animals here. Treasure to me is real friends and family. Same. So I think there is a lot of treasure. Treasure is not what you see, not the material thing. Treasure is much more than that. It's like, it's same as holidays. I don't really celebrate holidays. Only one holiday matters to me in the year. And what I always tell people in my Russian streams is that like they say, oh, happy this, happy that. I accept that. I say this back to them, but then I'm like, Well, I wish that holidays to you like are not only calendar holidays, right? But whenever you succeed in something, that this is the feeling that you have is a real holiday. Welcome everyone. Please be sure to subscribe if you are new here, and turn on your notification bell, hit the like button, and share Natalia's channel with your friends. Thank you for joining, and thank you Patrick for sharing this. Thank you Patrick, thank you Lizzie, thank you everyone, Joey who is supporting me. Thank you. Okay. Woohoo! Ice only on one side, how the wind is blowing. And surely but slowly, or slowly but surely, we are approaching Coney Island. Treasure. Yes, treasure, Bogdan. Natalia, didn't hear your question. Мечий хвост in English. Treasure, yes, Bogdan. Nibul, thank you Nibul for your support. Nibul is joining Patrick's words. There are so many different creatures here. Not exactly alive all the time, but still. If I do see something alive, I always push it into water. Oh, when the sun is out, it's so nice. Much warmer immediately. I don't understand why there is snow. I guess it's not snow, it's just ice in some places. The sun goes down. Well, the sun is still shining. No, Anton, it's different. Мечий хвост. What? You guys, people in America, you should know which sea animal I'm talking about. It has a shell and it has a pointy tail. You know what I mean? I forgot the name of it in English. The ride is still unsafe. I think that's that ride on that, I'll say, attraction is much safer than many other ones. Otherwise, it wouldn't exist for 50 years. No, not turtle. Turtle I would remember. Horseshoe crab, that's right. Thank you, Jim. Horseshoe crab. Correct. Oscar twice goes today to Jim Bond. There are so many, like there is season when there is a lot of fish by like close to the shore, and the seagulls are flying over it. But you can see like there's like between where we see green with ice there and here. So like as vast as this territory, there is like fish like in circles, circling in circles. Weird. So there are seasons when it's that. Then there was a season when there are turtles, like sea turtles, that are pushed to the shore. They're alive and people put them back. Then there are seasons when a lot of horseshoe, I forgot the name again, wait. Horseshoe crabs are washed ashore. So there are a lot of seasons, like you would think that it's always the same, but no way. It's always different. Nobody's swimming here today. Usually people swim closer to Coney Island, but yes, you are right. I don't really see anyone swimming today because maybe the weather outside is so cold. In the past few days, weather outside was warmer than temperature of water. Today is the other way around. Hedgehog. Cyclone roller coaster is more than 90 years old. Oh my god, I thought it was 50. Oh, now it sounds even more scary. So that's the cyclone, right? Cyclone. So that's the one that people are speaking about, and we will go there now. Actually, let's get out here. I'm just wondering where I can do that. So the plunge, the New Year's plunge, which is happening every year on January 1st, it's happening right here. So if you decide to see it with your own eyes, come here next year in January. We see Subway. Subway goes all the way to Coney Island. Coney Island is now the last stop of Subway. If Brighton Beach, to Brighton Beach, you can get by B train, which is express train, only during weekdays, and Q train on any day. Then on Coney Island, there are many other train lines as well. Hi, Walter. Built in 1927. Gosh, it's scary. Okay, Rick was right. Ice Bear Club swim every week, right? I think, well, I don't know about them, but I do see people from time to time when I come here. I see people plunge in the water. I don't know if they are from the club or if they are just doing it individually, but I do see them in water, and it's crazy. Steelheart is here. Well, hello. And you're the one who wrote it. It reopened on June 26, 1927. That is crazy. They swim every week, no matter what weather. That is also crazy. I mean, I'm wearing layers and layers of clothes now. I don't know how they can. I mean, I really appreciate how people, like willpower of some people, or how people can challenge themselves, or, you know, I really appreciate everyone who does what I cannot. Well, probably can, but do not. There are different events happening here in summer. There are different sorts of competitions and whatnot. Coney Island has its own Instagram, so if you want to be aware of what's happening here, what you will, to be sure not to miss something, check it out. They update it all the time. Ferris wheel, yes. And as I said, Ferris wheel is not the same as, for example, park with the scary ride, so it's a separate one. You can either buy a ticket there separately, or you can buy a pass there, but to a different park. So it's another park within a park, which I just learned last year. Oh, the name of the street here I just noticed, it's called Polar Bear Club. So I guess there's somewhere here. I want summer to come soon. Well, in Europe and in most part of the world, it's already last day of winter. Winter in America finishes on March 20th. 21st, I think it's the first day of spring. It takes a lot of practice for your body to adjust to cold water. Well, I think lifetime is not enough for my body to adjust to cold water. Natalia, on 10-point scale of cold, how cold are you? With the sun out, not bad. So I'd say 6. This morning, when I finished my previous stream, it was 20 out of 10. All places are closed. I promise we will come back here in summer, and you will see how nice it looks here in summer. And the park is now closed as well. So it's I think it closed pretty late this year. Oh God, that guy scared me. Scared the crap out of me. In summer, you also cannot ride a bike here during like day hours. So bikes are only allowed, I think, until 10 a.m. and after 7 p.m. or after 9 p.m., which is good because there are a lot of pedestrians walking and it can be really dangerous. Sauna first, then jump in cold water. Can I just finish with sauna? Sorry. Anton, can you block Anatoly, please? You see that maniac again created a new. Anatoly was one more time, this person who was blocked, he created another account, and yeah. How sick can someone be? But all he wants is attention, so he's not getting it. Thank you, Lizzie. Wow, something is happening where police went. So you see Nathan's hot dogs, 100 years that was in, so they are here since 1916, so almost 110 years already. I'm surprised all these places are closed. What is going on there? So all these places are closed. Oh, here we go. So bicycles are permitted on Boardwalk 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. only. Well, that's good. That's perfect. I guess there is a reason why they stopped allowing bikes here during the day, which only happened last year. Oh, that was weird what the car did, and then these people just went away. All right, so then there is a pier where people like to fish. Sometimes, like in this specific area, you would see a whole mix of people. So these are not as many, you won't see as many Russian-speaking people, but there are a lot of Americans, there are a lot of Asians, so Asian, maybe Americans as well, then a lot of like black people in summer. So this is what this area, the people that occupy this area, this is what this area is about. So it's very calm and peaceful. They said that people were jumping either with parachutes or without parachutes from this tower, which is straight ahead. That's why they closed it. I don't know whether this is true or not. I will read more into this, and when we come back here in summer to check it out, I will already have information for you. All right. So now we will go to the train station from here. I think we can turn here. Yep. So this is the final stop of many lines here, and that's why it's a little difficult to see which way to go once you get there. But I will. Let's go. Pepsi Cola, Anton. Hi. Anton used to have a Pepsi Cola nickname when Periscope was alive. They also organize different events such as like circus, and circus can come here and it's free. So in summer, and that's what I like about the city. There are so many things happening throughout the city, and they're most of the times free, affordable at least. Guys, can you write to me about connection? I just want to make sure that I have not lost you. I'm surprised that there's no one here now. That's so weird. In summer, you can hardly make your way over to the beach because it's so crowded. People sell things here, people try to pass by. Signal and audio perfect. Great, thank you. The aquarium, we just passed the aquarium. I showed it from far. But when we go to aquarium, I will show it closer from outside and inside. Lizzie. Connection is perfect. Thank you, guys. But you're going to Chinese parade today. I'm not sure if I will make it because I have my own things to do. But maybe there is something happening in Chinatown. The only reason why I didn't go there is because it's very crowded there today. What is happening? Oh, there were some prizes, so someone wants something. Let's see for what. This is Club Scouts. This is a park map, Luna Park, Coney Island. So that's what the rides that you have here. Something was happening here, and I guess we just missed it. You should eat now. What did I eat? Oh, I should at least finish Starbucks. It's been 2.5 hours, and my Starbucks became a cold drink. So just like Americans like it, they like it cold. So Nathan's hot dog contest, it takes place here. So not at Nathan's place on the boardwalk, which I showed, but it's right here. This is the iconic Nathan's original place, you see? It's right by the subway, so if you want to see it in New York, you won't miss it. As soon as you get out of the train station, it's right there. And cold drink. Guys, do not forget to like this video, please. And please subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss the next video. And any comments, I welcome as well. And thank you all. I'm not saying bye to you yet. Don't think. I'm just reminding myself and you about it. That if you like this video, thumbs up would be really welcomed here. And thank you for people who are my moderators, and thank you for all the viewers, and thank you to even all the silent viewers of this stream. And thank you for people who will be watching this video in replay. Oh yes, and Joe is reminding about notification button. Of course, to know when the new stream will come out. I don't save all of them. You need to use this button, to activate this button. So this is a Coney Island subway station. All train stations in New York look differently. This is one of the biggest ones. This is one of the biggest ones. All right. There is a graffiti with Coney Island saying welcome to Coney Island. If someone wants to ever see it, it's over there. And entrance to subway is here. I will show you what not annual, monthly Metro card looks like if I didn't lose it. Nope, I didn't. So it looks like a regular Metro card, but also it can look a little different. So it can look like this if you get your card through your employer. Why employer? It's not free card, so you would still pay full amount for the card, but this money will be pre-taxed, which means, for example, if you get $10,000 a year, so if you pay $1,000 a year for the card, you will be paying taxes from 99,000 and 9,000 and not from 10,000. So it's a little difficult to understand subway system in New York, especially for people who don't have subways in their cities, right? So how do we know where to go? Well, first of all, direction to buses, that's to the left. Direction to trains, so D, F, and Q, these are trains. That's to the right, so we won't be mistaken here. We go right. That's correct, 9,000, sorry. His name is Bond, Jim Bond. I don't know why people are walking there. I personally take stairs. There is a lifeguard stand greeting you at the entrance or at the exit from the subway. Okay, so now we see the same letters of trains. So what do we do next? Well, first we swipe ourselves in. After this, you can put your card in your pocket, in your wallet, in your bag, in your purse, whatever, because you won't need it at the exit. You can also use tap to pay with your phone. Cost of a ride is $2.75, or if you have unlimited pass for the month, which can be activated on any day, and it will be valid for 30 days, it costs $127. So now, where do we go? How to understand? Well, look at direction where you need to go. We're in Brooklyn, and we need to go towards Manhattan and Queens. So that's N train that goes there. We need to take Q train. So we'll look for Q train. Here it is. It's on track 3. And if this was not the last stop for all trains, it would also show other direction, not just Manhattan and Queens, but opposite direction could be Brooklyn. So we know which direction to go. Yes, there is also unlimited for a week, you are right, and it costs $33, and it can also be activated on any day. In Brooklyn first, all stops are outside, and then on the level of Manhattan, after Manhattan Bridge, it goes inside. So since it's the last stop, you see that doors are closed, but only one door is open. You can sneak in. It shows you where next train will be and when it will be leaving. So this train is leaving in 5 minutes. Once it's time for the train to leave, all doors will be open. The end go to Canal Street. This train also stops at Canal Street now. Maybe I will go there, maybe not. I still have things to do today. Rick totally agrees. The subway is a dangerous place, like Manhattan. Well, our life is a dangerous thing too. Express bus to Manhattan is 6.75. Absolutely right. You are right. Yes, Bogdan. Well, in some cases, Lizzie, it's better to get to the ones which don't have people. Because once I did get to the one with a person, and then it was pretty scary. The rabbit from one of the short videos that I posted here, that was nothing compared to the person who was on the train. So I'm just going to wait, well, 3 more minutes before departure. We actually see Manhattan from here, and it looks pretty. Let me zoom in and see if we can... no, we can't see it. So let's just go to the beginning of the train. Maybe we will be lucky enough to see it. Where the traffic light is. The very first one. Oh, Manhattan with the dark sky and the sun setting looks amazing. Should also never sit in the corner seats, because these are the seats that are taken by homeless, right? Or for another reason. Always sit in the middle. I don't even know if I can go here. I mean, I guess so, right? Oh, you see, they just opened all doors. I recommend doing a call-up with Action Kid. He has more than 350,000 subscribers, and he could really help your channel. Well, thank you so much, a person from Texas. But whenever I write to someone, they never respond. I'm the one who responds to all messages of all my subscribers, but no one wants to talk to me. If you can reach out to him, I would really appreciate, and if he can respond to you. Well, anyway, guys, I'm going to jump on the train right now. I showed you Manhattan. Now that's ending the today's stream. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please put thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and press bell to know when new video will be coming out. And also, don't forget to check community tab, because I post now a lot of pictures there and not on Instagram, at least not for the upcoming 2 weeks. Pictures will be only here and not on Instagram. So check from time to time community tab. That's where you can also find notifications about the upcoming streams. And if you want, we can watch how the...
This is a man-bound Q train, next stop West 8th Street. Stay clear to closing doors, please.
You know what? Let's just go to next stop. Take this train to next stop with me. Okay, guys? This will be a little bonus, like post PS. I didn't do it. Oh, oops. He's going wrong direction. All the way going to the beginning of the train. I just now realized that it's the end of it. Thank you, New Yorkers, for not telling me about it. Okay, whatever. We can still see it. Wait, hold on. Let me first show you Coney Island from here, and then I will show you through this hole. This is not our car. Ay, ay, ay. Look at Coney Island from one train. Ugh. Ugh. But the view is super nice. I know, Anton. Don't stay there alone. What can I do? People, come here, please. Oh, it's 95 years old, it says. So this is where aquarium is. I'm actually pointing at it. And now that's definitely the end of it. So I'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, oh, I'm not alone.
This is the Manhattan Q train. Next stop is Ocean Parkway. Stand with us.
I'm really not alone. Alright, well, see you next time, guys. Now for good. Now for sure. Bye bye.